What's going on, guys? Blazzintech. Today we're going to be talking about this, my iPad Pro 10.5-inch 64GB paired with this, the Apple Pencil. Now I've been using this combo for my note-taking for about 3 months in college, and I'm going to get you guys my review out right here and my thought about this absolutely incredible duo. So what got me interested in this duo was the fact that I could take smarter and more organized notes. Smarter in the sense that I could use multiple different colors, multiple different pens, pencils, highlighters easily. Now I know you can do that on on any kind of notebook with a multicolored pen and a bunch of pens and a bunch of pencils, but they're more organized in the sense that if I wanted to shift, a block of text right here down and then add another note or something like that, I can do that very easily with the iPad, something that you cannot do on pencil and paper. Now, thus far, the iPad has proven to be an absolutely amazing note-taking machine. The Apple Pencil is an absolute must for any iPad Pro user. My note-taking app is Microsoft OneNote. It's absolutely free and it's all cloud-based. So what that means is if I download OneNote on my MacBook Pro, I can have all of my notebooks and all of the notes that I take on my iPad Pro. The iPad Pro, Apple Pencil, and Microsoft OneNote is a killer combination. It feels like I'm really writing on paper. The ProMotion display of the iPad Pro has a 120 Hz refresh rate, and this offers and creates for incredible latency with the Apple Pencil. It really does feel like I'm writing on paper. It's really important to note that your handwriting on the iPad Pro will initially be a little worse than what you actually write with, but as you practice more with it, you'll definitely get your stroke down straight. The 10.5-inch display of this iPad is honestly, to me, the best iPad display and the best size of any iPad that I've ever owned. It offers a great blend of portability and it offers a great screen size. So that means that I can do a lot of work on here quite easily. Although the iPad Pro 9.7 was on an incredible sale and it was much cheaper, the feel of this screen made me pick this device over the iPad Pro 9.7-inch. This display to me, just when I put my hands down and try to write on the iPad, the 10.5 just felt 1,000 times better, and in my opinion it was worth the extra $150 to $200 investment on this iPad. This iPad totes a 10-hour battery life, and like most iPads and all iPads I've owned in the past, the battery life is amazing. Standby time is great. When I use this on a heavy day, I would only use about 25%, and that was about 3 classes. And the Apple Pencil lasts a solid week on standby, but with heavy use, the Apple Pencil lasts me 3 days. The beating heart of this iPad is a quad-core Apple A11 chip with 2 gigs of RAM. Apps are really snappy, and a new function with iOS 11 can allow you guys to use 2 tabs at once, and you can do that as a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split, and there really isn't any lag in between using 2 apps at the same time. Now when I'm not working, or I'm not taking notes, or I'm not drawing, I love to watch YouTube videos, and this 10.5-inch display is great for YouTube, movies, or anything. Something really good about this new iPad Pro is it is a quad speaker design, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the sound is absolutely amazing. The bass is great. The lows are great, the mids are really good, and it's really, really loud. Sometimes I feel like I don't even need to use a Bluetooth speaker, but I want to keep my iPad running for a long time, so I don't want to blow out my speakers. In my opinion, when you look at the iPad Pro, you see the evolution of the iPad, the portability. The size of this 10.5 is a little more than the 9.7 that Steve Jobs had envisioned, but honestly, it does not feel that much bigger. This is absolutely amazing. I've owned an iPad 4th generation. I started with an iPad 2nd generation, then I went to a 4th generation, then I went to an iPad mini 2, and now after a long hiatus of not using any iPads, I'm back to the iPad Pro 10.5, and this thing just feels light and amazing with the power, with the quad speakers. The cameras are really good too. I mean, I don't really use cameras on an iPad, but if that's what you want to do and that floats your boat, you go for it, and this will take some great pictures. But honestly, guys, this iPad to me is sensational. This combo is great. It's got a lot of power and it handles everything that I throw at it. Now, Apple really markets this to be a computer killer, and if you've seen the ads, you know, the little girl's like typing away on her little keyboard, you know, what's a computer? I don't think that this iPad takes my MacBook Pro out of my lineup. Now, this segues into the price. At $749 plus tax for the 64 gigabyte iPad Pro 10.5 inch and the Apple Pencil, that is actually a lot of money. You're kind of getting into the MacBook Air price point, and you're definitely getting into a really good 2-in-1 Windows machine, or pretty much anything else Windows right there at that $749 plus tax. Now, this iPad will definitely not replace your computer from your lineup, in my opinion. If you do a little bit of word editing and light web browsing, then you will go fine with this iPad. This will replace your computer. But if you like me and you need to do some video editing, maybe some code, and something a little more rigorous that you don't want to put your iPad through, you know, sometimes there's some forms you need to fill out that are a little bit awkward on iOS, and like you'd like to just attach a file. This does good with attaching files, but it just doesn't feel as natural to me as my iMac and my MacBook. So that's why, to me, this does not take away my MacBook from my lineup.